Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Talk on Women podcast. I am Pastor Louise, and I'm joined here by Pastor Sarah, Pastor Abisola, and of course, Pastor Toby. Just to introduce myself before we get into it, I'm 26. I work as a mortgage case manager at a fintech firm. I'm also qualified to give financial advice, and I'm working towards that currently. I'm very enthusiastic about financial literacy within lower socioeconomic groups. So that's really what I'm trying to do on the side. Yes, on to Sarah.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah, I'm 26 and I am the CEO of Everyday Cosmetics, which is an e-commerce beauty platform. We're currently on Amazon also, and at the moment I'm currently working with loads of entrepreneurs who are looking to get into dropshipping and e-commerce. So yeah.
Hello, hi. I'm Abisola, I'm 26. I studied criminology and law. I done a GDL, which is like a law conversion, and then I done a LPC with masters in law, so 5 years of uni here. I worked in criminal law for a bit. It was quite interesting. And now I've asked everyone else to define my role. I think I work with the biggest influencer in the world. And I think I'm responsible for videos such as Offending Effendi. I think I should add that to my CV. And so I manage some social media and get involved in other media things as well.
Hi, I'm Pastor Toby. I didn't go to any school because if we were to read Nigerian school in this profile, it's intimidating and useless. But I've been preaching to people about the coming of God. I'm just joking, man. Shut up, guys, man. That profile is so intimidating, guys. I don't know where to start from. But it feels to me like we're going to have a very powerful discussion. Yeah, the intro is so powerful. Louise looked like she's in the Caribbean somewhere, so it fits well. So, and then her dress matches the color of her car. So I'm not sure she walks. I just think she has fun.
Big mood.
Okay.
So, and of course, guys, trendy figure. I just think she's the camera woman. But she's the CEO of e-commerce.
Yes, sir.
But she's the camera woman on Sunday. That makes it beautiful. And of course, Abby, the lawyer. And she works directly with me. So I think she was trying to say me, and she's giving me a good profile, which I hope I'm able to live up to one day. But it's beautiful. We had the part one of this, so you might want to tell people, ladies especially, around to tune in, and those who you may know. And I've been accused of not answering questions directly. Trendy figure, who is also Pastor Sarah Bakare, did say that the word on the street is that I've not been answering questions, that I've been manipulative in my answers, that I go this way and this way. And she said you guys have been complaining, so you're not getting the value for your money. I'll try my best to answer directly this morning or today, but I'll try my best. Seriously, I'll just be. You want me to be nasty, right? Okay, I'll be nasty, and let's see how that ends up for you. So I don't want. If I just someone says, "Yeah, just answer directly," and then you hate me after, I'm leaving the church. I'm like, you did ask me to answer, but I will answer directly. So over to the anchor. Who is anchoring us this morning?
We're all going to be anchoring today.
Awesome.
And just a disclaimer that many of these questions came from the general public and they're not our personal questions. It's what the people of the nation want to know. Okay. Pastor Toby and everybody else?
Yeah.
All right,
And
disclaimer.
does not represent
All right, so
our
I'm going to
views.
try with
Yes.
something easy. And if I speak in first person, it's not because it's me. Again. Definitely not me. As I approach 30, again, not me, should I be focusing on relationship/marriage?
Wow. Trendy, what's your view? Let me hear you guys' view. we're gonna gist, and I hope you guys will comment, and someone is writing our comments down. And I've noticed something. Everyone here is 26. So I'm calculating my 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. That is 4 years. So when you guys were born, I was 14 years old.
Teenage girl.
Yeah, I was a full teenager. So can't believe I've gotten this old. I can't believe it. It's unbelievable. But you guys will be 40 soon, just to let you guys know.
Soon.
Yeah, it will be soon. It will be. It will catch up like a thief in the night.
Like you would say.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Just letting you guys know, because I think when we were 26, I just look at 40 years old like, why? Why are you this old? Like, wow. Like,
Do you
what's
think 40 is
going on?
old?
Huh?
Do you think 40 is
When
old?
we were 14
Yeah.
or when we were 25, you just think, how did you get here? Like, but then the kind of 40-year-olds that we all meet, then even they like intentionally or for whatever reason, they
No,
look old. They wear some
Yeah,
either
that's true.
African clothes or
Yeah.
some suits, and they're just
No,
they're
but even
just look
now,
old.
the ones that are still out, like, no offense, I look at my older sister, and she's like,
No
it's,
offense.
it's fine.
Be
It's,
careful though, because
it's
I've
fine.
learned that people's family watch. Like,
it's
Offense
fine because
taken.
I say it to her all the time anyway.
okay,
And she's in like her late 30s, and I call her aunt. Like, you actually look like an auntie. Like, how did you become an auntie so quick? So
I think
it's like,
people try to become old quickly. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
I think when we was younger, it was kind of cool to be old or try and look old. I think it was. And then now that we're getting older, we're like, no, we want to stop
Slow
doing
down.
that.
Look young.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, I'm not trying to look young. This is me. You understand? So I don't wake up in the morning thinking, oh, I'm now 40. Let me try and be like the young generation. So whereas it's popular on TV, they'll say, oh, you're doing it to attract people. Well, it's a good word. It's a good look. But in my sincere self, I'm thinking, no, I'm not attracting anybody. I just leave me. I'm being true to myself. Okay, so to the question, Trendy.
I feel like I can't answer this question, sir, because the question was asked to you. And I feel like once you open it up, we'll then be able to elaborate.
answer the question. At 30, do you want to get married? Or do you wanna
Yes. That is the answer. Reason being is because I feel like...
You know these things will be used against you by your family
Yeah,
leaders
so why
eventually,
why
but
am
it's
I
okay.
being forced to answer this question?
Just answer it
So,
sincerely.
okay, once I answer it, everybody's
Yeah.
going to have their own
Yeah.
turn. Okay, so I think as you approach the age 30, should you start thinking about relationships and marriage? I would say it's a common thought that a lot of ladies are having and do have. Reason being is because when they start their life, they look at their lives in stages. So, for example, they complete education, then they move on to their job and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, what next? So I think that is a reason in terms of why people do think about it and why I feel like when people approach 30, that's why it comes up. Another thing is they're looking at their age mates, they're looking at people around them, and they're seeing that happen more frequently. A lot of people are starting to go into that settle down stage as they approach 30, where they're like, okay, I've worked, I've done whatever I need to do, what is the next stage? So I would say yes, people do think about that as they approach the age of 30.
Okay. Ali?
Yeah, people think about it. Whether it's good or bad, that's the question, because I've seen people get married at 21 and at the age of 30, your house doesn't really say much. Like, your finances aren't saying much. So I think you can choose to settle and get that temporary happiness. Oh, yeah, I get married. I've got my boyfriend here. I've got my husband here. And you can choose to settle and be happy, but then I don't think you fully get that full happiness, because when you're arguing and you need to do counselling now because money ain't saying much. But I don't know, I think times, it's hard to say, because you've seen some people that marry young and it works. And I guess maybe with right leadership, it can work. I think one time Peter was saying before that it's not about us being a specific age, being in a relationship. It's about like your leaders, it's about like mentorship, it's about you being concerned, or you basically knowing yourself as well. So I can look at my leaders and say that some of them never focused on marriage, some of them never cared, and then when it was time, it happened naturally, like it just came. So I don't know. I don't think there's a direct answer on a specific age to get married or a specific age to have a relationship. I think it works with age because you end up achieving certain stuff by certain ages, or you end up like from now to we've got 4 years till we reach 30, a very long time. By 30, I would have achieved like a certain a significant amount or a significant thing to say, okay, now maybe if relationship is next, I think I'm ready to enter it.
Right.
But do you think that's kind of the stages process that I was taking people through? So you said it ticks a box, yeah? So say if somebody wants to tick their relationship box early and pursues other stuff later, or is it right, or is there a way that maybe we should focus on getting money, building something tangible, then focusing on relationship?
I think the problem with relationships is, and I'm not anti-relationships, please. I think if you can successfully do that without being distracted, then it's okay. So if, let's say, you're building whatever, and you know that a relationship isn't going to come and distract you, and a lot of people do know that relationships do distract them, then it's like, is it worth it? Whereas some people are able to balance it very well. So they're in a relationship and they're able to focus 100%, and then relationship is there. Some people, the moment your boyfriend upsets you, you can't eat.
Yeah. Most people.
Yeah, like, it really does have an effect on the body.
Most people just eat anyway.
So some people overeat, and some people use that as a reason to diet.
Yeah, some people will say, well, I got here. You put me in this condition. What condition? You've gone big now. You say, why? I have food dysfunction because when my heart is broken, I just eat. Wow. Well, I would love to see people get married young, but the problem is to woo.
Yeah.
That's the issue. So I've got no problems with or no issues with what age a person gets married or not. But I just feel like the person that you're trying to be with is not a person yet. So the issue of age does not matter as much as how long it takes for a person to be made.
Yeah.
And then comes religion and culture just says, you know what, just do it anyway and things will sort itself out. Well, experience then tells me, because of the number of people I've had to sit down with, and believe it or not, marriages don't have to break 2 years after. Sometimes they've broken 2 days after. It's just the manifestation is 30 years after.
Wow.
And most women that I've seen that gives marriage counseling and all that were suffering silently in their marriage, and eventually everything fell apart after many years of cover-ups. So then my own thought about these things developed, and somehow maybe an unwritten code in this kind of work is then formed. And what is formed is, at a point in life, especially between 22 and 26 and 25, 22, 23, 25, if it's early enough, 22, if it's late enough, 25, 26, at that point, you just have to sit down and choose and tell yourself what are your priorities. If your priorities is relationship and marriage, then it is what it is. And no church or movement or culture should stop you from that if it is your priority. So I think maturity is the ability to separate between priorities and emotions. Of course, to recognize that emotions is there. And different humans will have different expression of emotion. So if someone feels empty because there's no man in their life, we won't condemn them. It's their emotion. And if they allow that to take priority, meaning priority would then mean that, look, regardless of how my life turns out, the way I feel right now is just what I want to fulfill. Then it is what it is. That's what that person is. It would then fall on leadership, if you're in a work like this, it would then fall on leadership to say, okay, I can take this person this far on this journey, but not this far, because I respect how they feel. I respect how what is their priority right now. And every movement must be able to accommodate what is someone's priority right now. So I don't think that question can be answered generally. It has to be specific to individuals.
Situations, yeah.
It has to be, if, let's just say, and I'll use this word just for English sake, my own biological daughter, that's the conversation I would have. What is your priority? If that, I would suggest that you don't go down that route, because what then happens is you finish that route. After a year, after 2 years, the love thing vanishes. It just flies away. Definitely it's going to go. But no problem. You can enjoy it for the 1 year or 2 years, or 2 years is a long time in love, especially after marriage. It's just like married night, it just vanished. It's just gone. Yeah. And so, but the conversation would be, I would rather you don't go down that line, but if it's strong for you and you don't have enough inner power to choose what we think is priority, which is the building of a life, and it is that building, in the course of that building, you meet people, and they've developed also, to be able to understand you and what you're trying to do, and then real love becomes purpose rather than feelings. Then a marriage is sustainable.
Okay.
But the thought of love is not sustainable. I believe in love. Love is powerful. I get it. And I know there is love. And I know women love more than men on most occasions, 99%. I also know that a man can have many girls and still love you. That would be unacceptable in the world, right? But look, whatever a man wants to say to you, however they want to come on TV and start talking nonsense, they're just trying to tell you what you want to hear. Is it possible to have multi girls and love one person? Yes, 110%, and that's what almost all men are like.
Can we pause there?
You can pause. Or you can really stop. I'm just saying.
Is it possible for a woman to have multiple guys and love one guy?
It would have to be a woman to answer that.
Tell us, Abisela. Yes, tell us, Abisela.
You know why I think it's possible? You know why I think it's possible? I think the way the mind works is exchange. Exchange means you want to get something. Your heart can be in something, but ultimately what love should then make you do is, even though you want to get something from others, you are determined enough not to get that thing because you're committed. So we're talking, that's the ideal. But then the issue is, the mind of a person is still what it is. You like something, you want the thing. It doesn't mean you love it. You just want something in exchange. In this case, pleasure, whatever it is, you want it, but you still love something. So from now till eternity, men would always be in that fix. Whereas I think it might be possible for a woman also, but it can be a bit more reduced than a man, because a man just wants what he wants. It is what it is. So, but I said that because we're all still in the same topic of marriage and the age. If a person marries at 21, as long as they sat down and chose what is priority, I don't think people get into marriage because I don't think they have the conversation of priority before they get into marriage. I think they just do it because it is cultural, it is normal, it is traditional, it is what's next. And as we all know now that people don't have direction in life. So that's why systems and culture and tradition was created. It gives you direction. So it only takes a person that is different to say, no, I'm not going to just go with the directions that I get. I'm going to direct my own life. So most marriages that we meet either early when things are falling apart or later, 30 years after when things are falling apart, the question I've always asked is, was this a chosen priority by you? And all the time, like after sitting down with hundreds of marriages, 16 years after, all the time, you just realize that this person got into this unconsciously. They may think they are conscious, but their consciousness is just tradition and what's next in life. And there was no leader telling them, you know what I think is next for you? Build a financial world, build this, build that, and get into that financial world and meet a right man there. Because here, you're just going to pick the same people that you grew up with because that's all your mind knows.
So based off that, do you feel like a woman should marry somebody that is financially stable, or have the roles reversed? So, for example, I'm looking at a lot of females, and they actually make a lot of more money than their partner. So, how would it work in a situation like that?
Okay. I think Louise had a very strong answer from
Louise is
that.
not getting married to a
Yes.
poor guy.
Short answer. I mean, your question. If he's financially stable, yes. I mean, you have to marry someone who's financially stable.
They're not financially stable.
was what you
like,
said, though.
Okay, like richer.
I mean, I think when it comes to who earns more, I think that's a different conversation. And it also depends
Because
on like
stability means something else than rich. Yeah.
So if I'm making more than the person, what are they doing? Like, what are they building? What's the end goal here? I mean, I don't mind making more forever, but you have to be making like close. We're not gonna be like 10 miles apart and living in the same house. That's my son. No.
Okay, but then you saying that, you saying
He
that,
said that's my son.
that's my child. But you saying that, I could be like, hold on a minute. A lot of traditional housewives make less than their partner, but their partner makes more money. I would feel uncomfortable.
But I also think that's an issue in a
You get
marriage.
it?
I think you still shouldn't be miles apart.
Yeah, either way, it
Either
goes.
way.
Okay, cool.
I disagree. Because some people can be housewives and be content being that, and they do other things. I don't think so. If, let's say, my husband is has his own business, all of that, and he funds my lifestyle, that's what it is.
I don't like that.
But
I don't like that.
I don't
like
know,
it.
because by the way, I'm not saying that this is my situation, but I'm saying that, like, if, let's say, I'm doing other things, especially, let's say, nation-wise, let's say leading a team or building girls counselling, all of that, I don't need to be making that money if he's making
Forever.
it. Forever's the question mark, but
I mean, I think there's seasons with anything. I think there's seasons. But I mean, not forever.
I think there will be no. If you guys are doing the same thing, if you guys are aiming towards the same place, there would be this discussion would not even happen because it won't be who makes what. Because you're trying to a mindset of building something. Who makes what is always going to be dependent on bills paying, because at the end of the day, will be bills paying, or we want to buy a nice car or whatever. And I think what the first introduction of marriage in Eden was just the woman was created to help the man. And I know some feminist people would start carrying placard and say, what do you mean it's just created to help the man? Help is not a lesser activity. Help means that it can't accomplish it without help, you know? So for me, that makes me think that the question of purpose is always going to be the core of finances in a marriage. What I'm doing. So if I'm doing something and the person that, let me start from power couples, for example. Power couples will not be about who earns what. It's just going to be about, we're trying to get to so place. A politician has married a woman who is a mobilizer, and somehow they make their trick work, and they get to where they are going to. So the woman becomes the lobbyist, and the man is the face. So I just think people in marriage should. I wish we had more planned marriages. Okay, so look at this for example. We're sitting with a man. This is so surprising, you know. We're sitting with a man. This guy in a certain country, yeah, is the guy that everyone who has started a bank will go to, or who is running a major bank will go to and ask, what's next? So you can imagine where he is. It's like, what's next? What's technology next? Then it tells them, do this, da, 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 da. So we're sitting in 45 having lunch, and he's telling us about some financial stuff. We're blown away, and we're thinking, okay, we can do this and that. So then we started talking about personal life now. Yeah. So he said, oh, my wife is Hausa. Like, so I said, okay, wow, that's interesting, because he said, no, for me it's an arranged marriage. It's just my parents came together and they arranged it. And it's cool. Not usually when you hear arranged marriage, someone is complaining, right? For him, it's just saying, no, I like it. It's fine. It's just, he said, she's so-so-so's daughter, and we're together. He said, he's saying, I don't drink, I don't smoke. My wife drinks and smoke, which is also very straightforward. So he said, and I'm fine with that, but it's arranged marriage and we're happy. It's just what it is. The way he said it in passing, for us, we want to dig more, like, guy, like, okay, are you, so he said, so finally we got around saying, so what is the love element in there? He said, love. He said, yeah, you grow to love each other at some point down the road, if that's, but he said, it's fine. We have 2 kids. We're fine. We're just fine. Love, I've not thought about it, but you grow to love somebody.
So do you feel like marriage is more strategic then?
So that's what I'm saying. I wish, for me, this is me now, I hope and I wish that we have a culture that has more planned marriage. I won't say arranged, but planned means that from the onset, on most occasions, you see a future. I wish, and especially for our demographic, and it's about time we start doing that, because most of our parents are not happy. They're not happy. Let me tell you, most of our parents stayed in marriage out of culture and shame, because there's no way in the world. So we have mothers that are completely, those who are still married, most of them, we have mothers that are completely subdued because they were taught to obey your husband. So they are just there. And they didn't fulfill anything that they were. Some of them were very strong doing stuff before they got married. But marriage comes and then they just sit down because, hey, I don't want to look like I'm trying to outshine the man. Of course, I know your generation is not going to have that and all that. But it comes around. So I think it should just be more strategic. A bit more planned. You can see the future in it, and then love is the base, but it's very secondary, because how do you talk about love for a man who does not understand sacrifice? Because love does not automatically generate sacrifice, because most men that you meet, they don't know what love means. So I wish that, how do I say this without sounding, I wish that we can plan things more. I wish that we can sit down and say, you see, with this guy, yeah, you may have some feeling for him, but it won't work because X, Y, Z. If that is in place, yeah, the issue of money, who earns and who doesn't earn, will not be a matter of discussion, because it will just be, look, we're working towards something, and like Louise said, it will be seasonal. So if I'm the one making the most, the other guy knows why, or the other person in the marriage, and he or she brings something else to the table. And sometimes I've seen women that what their husband brings to the table is just to support them, just be there. And at that point, it doesn't matter who makes more money, because it's a team stuff. And people are working towards something. It's just at 26, if you start thinking, I'm going to 30 and I'm not married, let me just get someone. Even that is planned, because getting someone can just be, okay, guy, just be there. That's my son or whatever. I don't know. Like, just be there. That's a power. He said, that's my son. I can't recover from that. But I get it. From that angle, if it is just, we don't have anything we're building together, we don't have it, we're just going to be paying bills and all that, and you're just there. Of course, that's your son. You're feeding him, sending him to school. But if we're part of a team, If we're part of a team, then we're working towards something. And there are also people, there was a generation that came to this country, women, female especially, and what they did was they took men from like Africa, and they were the ones working, and they've tried to build their men to now become something, so that, and most of it crashed because those men smelled little money and became something else. Most of the ones that I've seen. So they brought this guy and they think, okay, so then they will think we're part of a team, but that team has no leader. So you're just two people. And you, in your goodness as a woman, think you're building this man, but this man has no accountability to nothing. And you don't know what he is until he smells money.
Yeah.
And by money, little money, now he earns more than he's earning in Africa or whatever country he's coming from. Then it becomes a beast.
Yeah.
And you're wondering, I didn't know he's a guy like this. Of course, he's always been that. He's just looking for someone. Even he doesn't know. He didn't put it in writing, like, I'm just looking for someone to step up with. You know, it's just the way human nature is. So I think if we would have to break out of the shell of culture and tradition, and I think we have to live a more strategic life. When you look at love, you choose priority over love. That's what I think.
Okay. So one of the questions on here was, should a woman ever pursue a guy? So what do you feel? What do you feel in terms of that?
I think it's a question of the century, you know. Like, should they? I don't know how that works, though. You guys have to enlighten me.
Some girls got game.
I think all girls got games.
It ain't for me. No. I mean, I don't know. Because I can only speak for myself. I personally wouldn't, because my pride is high. But but I mean, some girls would.
Imagine Louise going down on one knee. Imagine Louise going down on one knee saying, "Would you marry me?"
You already look too strong for that from a distance anyway.
No. Okay, so one of the next questions is, what should women who are age 25 plus be thinking about? What should they be focused on?
I think we've avoided that question, though. The first one, which is should. I don't think so, and I don't want to be cultural. I just don't think so. I think for what a guy already is, he's a prey hunter. You guys actually know that guys hunt. Like, they feel when they get a girl, it's just like fulfilling like a hunting game. It's like, I hope you know that, right? Or you don't know, you just think those love letters are really love letters. They're not, it's just prey hunting. And so it's just like an animal. Sorry, you're not animal. It's just like an antelope in the bush. Just say, hey, I'm here, hunter. You can kill me, but I trust you not to eat me, and then look for another antelope. And say, of course. Yeah, boom. Then he shoots the game. He's looking for another game. I think it just inspires more searching. I don't know. Meaning inspires more searching. After that, then what? Because this is an easy thing. The world is very complicated, so some may work on some occasion, because life is neither black or white. But I think if it's not your thing, again, don't let culture or tradition force you to this notion of, it's so late and I have to marry and I have to do this, so I've got to do what it takes to then get married. I think a person can get more busy with many other productive things in life, and I would have supported that with another advice, but I can't because I'm a pastor. So.
But we made an agreement that we would.
I'm not sure we actually signed the agreement.
It was a verbal agreement.
I do.
According to law,
Thank you very much. Lawyer, can you?
there was only an invitation. There wasn't a signed or a direct.
You thought she was on your side,
Yeah,
right?
just tell the difference.
That's awkward. So how did
there
verbal...
was no verbal agreement. There was an understanding, but no
where she said.
agreement. Yep.
Yeah, she's a lawyer. But I just think whatever a person feels like. Yeah. I don't think you should make a permanent decision on a temporary feeling. And I'm sorry to say that if it suits your fancy to do something temporary enough, then do it. Don't sin, but if you have to. Okay, Eugene, I'm just talking to Eugene as a son and as a new. If you have to sin temporarily, if that's a problem, just don't turn it to marriage. Because that will be eternal. And you will make mistakes and you will still go for a guy, you will still go for a girl, even in that marriage. It would happen. So, if having a person makes you feel like you're doing something, then you better do. But don't turn it to marriage. Because from that point onward, even if you divorce, it's never the same again. And babies are God's will. Like, once the child comes in, it's worth whatever stress one has to go through. But it's better not to even. Because, again, you're never the same again. However, we want to sugarcoat it. And, of course, you would have to then work double hard to make sure that you're the same. And if you're in the Nation family, we won't treat you like you've got a disease. In other words, it will still be the same pressure even if you're a single mom or dad. It will still be the same pressure of performance. We're not going to say, oh, we should consider her. No, it's the same pressure because we want you to be everything that you want to become. So when we're younger, we learned, a pastor texted me yesterday, yeah. This is so funny, yeah. He's so angry. So I said, what's up? So a young pastor is gone to Ghana now to evangelize. And they chose the beach side to evangelize. So they're evangelizing to young boys and girls who've come to have fun.
I'll be so
And
angry.
these guys,
I would be so angry.
and these guys became born again. They said, oh, we've given our life to Jesus. Now give us money because we have to buy Bibles to follow up this lifestyle. So the pastor, being a sacrificial guy who wins souls for the Lord Jesus Christ, empties their pocket and gives these guys money. I'm sorry for the word I'm about to use next. He said then they saw these guys immediately buying latex condoms and alcohol with the money just next to them and started touching themselves by the beach side. So imagine the pastor who just converted people. He's thinking, what is going on? And he said, my heart is so broken. So I was laughing. I said, excuse me, you went to disturb them at the beach side. It's their home. That's what they've gone there to do. So, but they pretended to be born again. Yeah, but that's the only way you can give them money to buy Bible. He said, I don't know what this generation has turned to. I said, this generation has always been good people. Those are good men and women. I don't have a problem with them. Because you just don't know how to be realistic with certain things anymore. So you went to beachside. Leave them. I said that to say that there are certain realities that we've had to face. We have to understand certain growth. And for him, I know where he's coming from. You see that lifestyle, what they are doing and what they've done, it will be so strange to him, so awkward. For me, it's not. I'm just thinking, yeah, I'm exposed. I understand. And I'll probably reach them better. He won't, because they are probably at the suits, with his suit at the beach side, trying to win souls for Jesus. So reality is what I'm saying on this channel. And what I'm saying is, whatever you do, just don't make something permanent. Just don't do something that will be permanent. And then you can get to the next stage of the discipline, which is, yes, I feel a certain way, but I'll stay away from those things. That's next stage discipline, and that's what I would rather. Yeah, that's what I would stand for. But in case people have weaknesses and stuffs like that, just be deliberate and strategic about what you do, so that by mistake you don't then go and fit something into your permanent life based on temporary emotions. That's my thought.
I'm going to switch up a little bit from relationships, unless anyone else has got any more that are coming in from the nation, of course. So, do you think that when people get over a certain age, 25 plus, they start to getting tired of doing church? Do you think that focus increases, or they start getting distracted with other things?
But how long would they have been in church for? Let's say they started church at what age? Maybe all their life, parents took them to church. Well, yeah, because I'm thinking of myself, and I grew up in church, and I've always just tried to do whatever we church people did. My parents being church pastors and leaders. And then maybe before 25, maybe 19, 21, those kind of age, I got into uni, and I'm not even sure it's about being tired of church. I just saw another life. So I saw another life, and I got sucked into that other life. It's more fun. At that moment, I didn't even think I thought of it as more fun. It's just the word that was available. We smoked, we drank, we did all the parties, we did whatever else we had to do. I'm not sure they're tired of church. I think even if they were doing something else other than church at 18, at 19, I think by the time they get to 23, 20, whatever, if they are exposed to another life, they just naturally will find something else to do. So some may be coming from church, some may be coming from something else. We just get tired of a certain life. We get tired. Men, especially the 99%, we like activities. We like other worlds. We like something different from what we used to know. But I've studied the 1%, who are the top 1% of the world. I think they are just very boring people who just stick to something. And they create the next word for themselves. So it is going to be natural if you've always gone to church, if you've always lived a certain life under the control of whatever you were born into. It is natural that at the age of awareness, for a girl, the age of awareness starts from about 18 all the way to 23, 24. Awareness at that age is a lot of mistakes, a lot of decision, because you are aware of your woman power. A guy start telling you, and then you are aware, and then you'll be with this person or that person. Then another word presents itself, and that word becomes or looks attractive, and you will go for it. What happened with most of you in the Nation family now is at certain age in your life, another word came. And that word was not church. Most of you didn't come to the Nation because of the spirituality. You had a bit of spirituality in you, but then you came because it suited. It's a new thing. It's new. It's great. And then the little bit of spirituality you've got, it fits into it. So, hey, why not? And some of you that are ladies came with a relationship. The guy you're with then likes it. And then you're seeing older persons leading, giving you direction. It's just interesting. It's fine. Now, when do you get tired of that? The moment the people in front of you are not evolving. If they are not evolving, then you cannot see a new world. Then you get tired of it. Or that's one stage. Or you're just a person that is just extremely unstable. If you're extremely unstable, or you're an inferior person, then the world you're coming from will always be fine for you, because when you were 19, you had certain freedom. Now you've come to a place you have certain freedom, but not certain freedom, because Your old friends that you've left behind, you cannot
Yeah.
gyrate with them. And they're not going anywhere, but it's just that it's more comfortable. So that's an inferior mind. It's more comfortable, and then it's cheaper. It's cheaper, not just financially, it's cheaper. It's a less virtued life. So it's either we go back to that world, but at 25, I think there will be higher calling for everybody. It's just, can you take it or not? Are you expensive enough to take the next life that presents itself to you? And for some of your age mates, it will be maybe a bigger fraud world or drug world. It will present itself. And then you would have to choose. But it's always a new world at certain age.
I'm going to add on that one. Shall I go to the next question? Okay, if I can find it. There's a question here. Influencers and 16-year-olds that are doing hair make more money than my yearly salary. Is there a point in being a professional? So if I expand on that question from whoever sent it, this young generation, a lot of them are into beauty, a lot of them into hair, all of that, and they're making a very decent amount of money per month, per week, compared to people that have gone to uni and then work in the city. Even influencers now, you take a picture for a paid ad, you can get like 10K for one. Well, I know like Molly May, I think she's on like 10K for a sponsored ad. Is it worth now still going through the whole uni process and becoming a professional, or is there a new style of the
But you're not going to be Money May.
Yeah, well, there's that as well.
You're not going to be.
Yeah.
Don't deceive yourself. Most people are not going to be. So, and of course, you've always known my thought about professionals. I just don't think much of them, especially if you're doing it just because it fits into a lifestyle and it makes you pay your bills monthly. But you have to grow to be true to yourself. So you're not going to be inspired by someone making hair or an influencer when you know that's not you. You just know it's not you. You can't do it. Because, again, if someone looks at Money May, right?
Molly May.
You look at the person like that and say, but she can get 10K on this. The price she pays for that is 9K5. Her profit from that is 500. It's taken her a journey. It's taken her, and the question will be, do you have that tenacity? Can you pay the price she's paying? Is it you? Because for you to pay the price of something, it has to truly be you. You have to be true to yourself. So if a Louise is saying, I'm going to do XYZ in financial world, that's professional. I'll say to her, do it. And if you stay true to yourself, doors will open there because you have right mentorship and leadership that will make you, everything is a curve. It comes back to make you the millions you've always wanted. But you've got to be true to yourself and know that this is... So most people that would then drop uni or professional world to then go into a world that is not them because they heard that someone is making money, they will give up halfway because then they will realize this thing takes more effort than what they were doing or what they wanted to do. It takes more effort to be the money way. And in this lifetime, how many people will be hurt? Now, then we go to the part of, yes, there are also people still making money from that. If it is true to yourself, if it is what you do, because you can't tell me people who make hair are making more money, but you can't make hair. You understand? But you're going to force us to patronize you, but you know you're not good at it. It's not your thing. And even if it is your thing, it's not making you happy, so don't do it. Find what you do and do it well and do it happily. The greatest problem you would have in life is comparison. The moment you're walking in life and you're looking at this person or that person or what this person makes or what that person makes. I was saying to Pio yesterday, when we look at the caliber and the number and caliber of people trying to talk to us now, trying to meet with us, And P.O. said it. Okay, he said, I've discovered this now. This thing is like a curve. It's like you first hate the Jewish people, then after a while, everybody wants to associate with them. That's what we are experiencing now. But apart from that, the truth of the matter is 5, 6, 7 years ago, there were people we looked at as, wow, they are so big. I said, but I clocked it then. I leave that word. I'm not looking at anybody anymore. Since then, I just come into my word and walk. Somehow they are, as in, I really mean begging. Sorry, but it's the truth. To meet with us. Because I just focused and I didn't see that anybody existed. Then all of a sudden you realize that what they made and then you were thinking is big, it's not that big.
Yeah.
It's very small. It's just when you look at something and you keep staring at it, it gets bigger and it makes you feel small. Whereas go into your own world and just walk away. Just meaning walk, W-O-R-K, away. You're just walking away. You're just focused there. So when these guys are asking me, all the top whatever leaders are asking to see us or to talk to us, I'm just saying, you know what? I forgot about that word for time. So it is those who are still there that will be saying, oh, this person is so I'm thinking I didn't even know, you know. Oh, so you've done this. Oh, so you've done that. And then we now walking with grace. I think people are just focused on what others are doing a lot.
Yeah.
You're the CEO of beauty stuff. If I were you, I'll just be doing my beauty stuff as if nobody exists. I don't care about who made 10K tomorrow or who made 20K. I'm just becoming the best version of me. Of course, and I have a house, I have a family that is given direction, the best version of me. Eventually, we will know who made what. So if you're a professional, and that's what you can do. I told your sister, I told Bookie, said, stay at your work. Just do it. And what was she earning? £1,000. Then putting in receipts and stuff. But then she belongs to a very entrepreneurial family. It would look like, oh, maybe I should go and do so. I said, no, don't go and do something. Stay filing receipts. Just stay there because I can read you through. That's who you are. Does that then mean that she will not come up with discoveries like tick or whatever she's coming up with now? She will come up with it, but she will find it there. But if you jump into the pool of what everybody is in the nation family, what everybody is in the world, you begin to run a rat race, and it will never end well. Just do your thing and be true to it.
So just to chip in, one of the questions actually says, should you pursue every idea that comes to mind? How do you know when it's time to quit your job and pursue your dream?
You will know, because if your dream is now starting to make you more money, and by more money, for us, it gives you seed, and it gives you movement daily, or whatever that movement daily means per time. If it does that to you, then you'll know it is time to stop what you're doing. Now, to stop your job. For me, what I do is speak. I preach, I speak. Now, I don't know over the last 16 years any business that I've not been involved in, but I'm involved in that, not at the detriment of what I do. So I know when there is a meeting about 10 billion, 1 million, I know when not to go. If you ever see me there, it's not affected. Even if I'm to preach to 2 people, I will take preaching to 2 people over that meeting. Because I've chosen a path. I've chosen a career or a path has chosen me. And I'll be true to that. Then I'm not going to then evolve to be a record label leader at the detriment of this until all signs show it. So, excuse me. Look, I'll take Pastor Dami for an example, right? He quits his job. But why and how would I even entertain that as a conversation? I'm looking at Power Base. I'm saying, okay, you've grown to discipleship of this number. You've grown to giving X amount. It means by now you can balance out your life. And by the way, you can still be a professional. It just means that you're not having to report to work every day. You're having a year, 2, 3 years break to think about what contribution do I make into engineering. That's after 12 years. of active, daily service, structured. So I don't think people quit their job. I think they just get lazy in the pursuit, most people, in the pursuit of a dream
Yeah.
that they've not proven in their profession. You can interrupt me anytime,
So
please.
was there ever a time where you personally went to like a business meeting over something that you feel like you should have been doing, maybe preaching, and can you come back from it if you have gone like if you've taken like the wrong route?
Yes, you can come back from it. If there was ever a time that I did, I'm not sure. I don't think so, to be honest with you. We did try many things. We did try. We even printed cards and we did CEO of because we wanted to get a word, but I think we soon quickly realized, oh boy, don't do this thing. You'll get lost. So I think people can come back from it. But sometimes people don't because of pride. They've gone to introduce themselves now, or they keep pushing themselves as business entrepreneur, whereas they're just a pastor, and so pride will not make. Pride is why people don't shut some things down. Yeah, and then they will go and listen to motivational talks saying don't give up. And usually I tell people, give it up. This line, it's not going to work. Give up so that you can start afresh.
Yeah.
Because now you know in your heart of heart that this is a mistake. Retrace that step. So I told a pastor years ago, he's a older guy and he runs his own church. And this guy was into IT. He's hired by a company. He works there. He has a church as well, older than me, maybe 5-6 years, maybe. Or maybe I just thought he's older. I don't know. So he's called me one day because he's looking at Spark Ministries then, just Spark Ministries then. And he said, oh, I want to do full-time ministry and I'm going to quit my job. And I said, well, if you're calling me for advice, I think you shouldn't, because in the IT stuff, you're a consultant, you're doing well.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm looking at your church as well, and I'm trying to say without being disrespectful, I don't think you guys are up to that yet.
Yeah.
But you know how these people say God has spoken to them. So I said, well, you know this guy just comes out of nowhere and starts speaking. So anyway, he quits, and it wasn't long. This guy used to have, he had to text me to give him £200. Wow. And he'll pay it back at so time. Now the £200 is not my issue, it's just how did you get here? It's not necessary. And then he had to reapply for that job. And I'm thinking, the timing is just off. And call off your pride. Call it off. Because even those of us who are like pastors, we want to get something by the side doing. You've got yours, and you've not grown to that place. So I think we should have certain confidence in life and certain boldness to do bold stuff. But I think most times people also overrate themselves. And then that overrating becomes more expensive because once you dig that hole, it becomes a bigger hole and you keep getting into those holes. And sometimes people just need to leave that hole, come back from it. So if you're not proud, you'll be able to call yourself back from something. And I've said it to people many times. If you think PT is something today and Spark Nation is something today, and I think we're something, there is just one tool, something that got us here, is acute focus on one thing. I really, really, truly, if you need to know PT, if you're just watching on Instagram and blogs and stuff, he's an outgoing guy who is very fashionable or whatever it is. But real PT, yeah, I'm an indoor person who can actually sit in a corner and focus for a long time. That's the strength. So, and I realized that whatever you choose, even if it looks like it doesn't make money or is so dull or boring, if you have acute focus, it will always become global. It's just about having an acute focus on something choosing a path and just staying at it, no matter how much it looks like it's nothing, it will become something just because of that focus. So you can attribute our seeming success and our real success to whatever else, be it is intelligent, if you think I am, or da. But I can attribute it to something. It's just acute focus. I understand how to shut the whole world out and just be in a place and just looking at a thing for a long time and just repeatedly doing the same thing. I can preach from the HQ kitchen for the next 10 years, just doing the same thing.
But how do you condition your mind to just do that? Because as young people, as females, like you said, we're not like a Molly May, but when we see these things happen, our focus immediately goes to what they're doing. But then how do we bring our focus back?
Please change this. After one, please.
How do we bring our focus back, or how do we condition our mind to be like, no, we're going to stick at something, even if it's for 5 years, for 10 years? How do you do that?
I think stop looking.
Okay.
And I know it's tempting because when you're not looking, when you're not scrolling through those Instagram thing, it looks like it's boring. So I remember that my own growing in Nigeria, I just did one thing in uni. From secondary school, late secondary school, all the way through uni, I just organized party. So if you've seen, yeah, you thought, yeah, I know. From secondary school, by the time I got to year 5, which you call year 5, but that's like SS1, SS2 in Nigeria, I only went to school. One thing, I get to school, I go to the library, not to read, never to read. I have my uniform and plan parties. How many girls are coming, it's got to be the best part. So if you meet anyone that I've known since then, they will just say, your job always has just been to gather people. It's got to have the best girls. It's got to have the best atmosphere.
Sounds like P. Sam.
Maybe that's why he's my son, you know?
Is this where you did your solo dancing?
Got you back.
Say that again?
Is this where you did your dancing and then...
Exactly. No. People are still looking for the video of that dancing. It will never come up. Never in life. Never. It's when you get to heaven, ask God to play that record of my life.
That's my first question.
That shows that only God would have that video. So I've always just done that. So I did that through secondary school. Then you get to uni and you join clubs so that you can plan parties. And what you do is to organize. So some other club have organized a party. They have certain kind of girls and atmosphere. You want to do it better. And so, but for those parties, you won't find me there. I think I've always been very conscious of the phone and stuff. You won't find me dancing with somebody, or because I've always thought maybe I'll be president or something. I don't want those.
That's a good way to think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always thought that. So I'm always in the kitchen. I'll have a lot of alcohol and weed. I'm just there. I'm just watching over what I've created and stuff like that. Now I forgot why I got into that story.
Focus.
So for growing up now, I haven't lived that life. I understand how to make things happen. I won't look. I'm entertained by myself already.
Yeah.
So, I know why now. So imagine, then I come to UK, then I found my friends, even those who we were not allowed to enter our parties, we bounced them. I found them doing that now. Yeah. And we've spoken for a while. We'll be going on a break now. Okay, 1 minute. I found them for a few months of being here. And what I just did, after a few months looking at their lifestyle, and I'm thinking, at 24, 25, I'm thinking, I'm bored of this now. I just vanished.
Yeah.
So the next time these guys will see me is as PT.
Yeah.
Like they started seeing me back in
mad.
2016, 2017. They didn't know if I was dead or alive. And I didn't know too. So they had to come look for me. And now you can now imagine whatever success they've had, imagine the gap between us. It's like, they're my child. Like the distance is mad.
Yeah.
Because I've just vanished. I don't know what they're up to. One even said, I thought you were dead, you know. Because I went into the church world without even going into the church world. So it's my own little church world. So I didn't look. I think my social media journey started in like 2016. I never went on Facebook like the other people will call it. I didn't know those things. Twitter, I didn't see. So I think, and so now it is easy for me to be out and about and then to just shut off completely for months. It's easy. So sometimes I'm there without being there. So I think as long as a person still has access to see what everybody is doing, I think the human mind will usually gravitate towards wanting to do something better.
Yeah.
And then you have some hidden bitterness, and then you want to prove something. How do you focus? Discipline yourself enough to have your own entertainment world.
Yeah.
You're just very entertained by yourself. It was easy to shut out from those friends for like close to a decade or even more, because what I was doing was entertaining enough for me.
Yeah.
It's like, they would say, oh, you've never gone to Nigeria. I'm like, but what would I go there to do, though? There was nothing in those years.
Yeah.
There's nothing that I want to go there to
Yeah.
do. The only thing I would do is arrive and prove that
You're the
I'm
guy.
from
Magic,
London
yeah.
and then be driving around. I didn't want to know that word because I feel like if I can just sit in a place for a while, I'll take that city. I feel it. And I wasn't bored. I wasn't boring. I found a Pastor Sam. And it was just good work for me to see how they would grow or develop. I had things I was working on.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So we're just about to go on a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Anywhere.
My shoes, spend a day in a place where rap people make the news, where our mothers go to work, where our kids go to school. Maybe then you understand why we do what we do. Back to back in them ranges. When you're in my hood, there's only sirens. Ain't no hope in them trenches, only violence. Them drug dealers on the block, they be hiring. Cause them people in the city ain't inquiring. We ain't good, can't enjoy our best life. Lord forgive me for my sins, ain't thinking about my next life. I was switching up the net, just thinking about the best price. Trying to see them white lines like when you do the left right. You can't feed the strip, you ain't no gangster. Can't take a killer off the streets, you ain't no gangster. Can't put a man up on this beat, you ain't no gangster. You just add fuel to fire and make disaster.
Could've been a movie star. Could've been a movie star. Could've been a movie star. But he chose the life of a gangster. Could've been a movie star. Could've been a movie star. Could've been a movie star. But he chose the life of a gangster.
Times ain't changed, the new slavery is clocking in and out. They made us think a salary was the only route. They even mentioned the goal was a pension until retirement. Now you wish you had another route. I was out with my kiddies on the back roads, trapping in the ID Lee trying to stack notes. When I thought about tomorrow, I grip that cold tight. Cause in these cold streets you might not make it back home.
Could've been.
Could've been.
Could've been a movie star.
Could've been.
Could've been a movie star.
Could've been.
Could've been a movie star.
somebody to believe in me, so I had to give them something to believe in. And even when they tried to doubt me, they still noticed me, cause I had to open doors without the keys. And we all hear voices when life gets noisy. We never died our choices. We all hear voices when life gets noisy. We never died our choices. I don't know if I can right my wrongs this time. Too many repeating mistakes. Yeah, I promised that I wouldn't, but I've done it yet again. And now I'm trying to hide the shame from my friends. But I told God that I'm tired of this shit. Yeah, I'm tired of people lying to the kids. Yeah, I know I've got potential also found in other kids. I'm trying to have the life that others wanna live, so I can't go back, and I won't go back. Yeah, I'm giving it my all, but you ain't giving it enough. I'm about to kick it up a notch, I'm about to show them what I got. Yeah, I love it when they doubt me, cause I'll prove them all wrong. Conversations of S, and my boy feeling stressed them. Whenever I rap, I've got this pain in my chest. Got so much to say, and I haven't got the words, I've got this smile on my face. Just to cover that I'm hurt, I've got this pain on my inside. I think I'm better than who I need to be. I'm used to sacrifices, blood and blood ain't big to me. I saw my brother's shows when they were gonna fund it all and give it all to Pete. Can't see what others couldn't see. I never run off from the plug and I never will. He helped me out when I was too under that love is real. The public treats me like he's only like my uncle before he paid me my first back. I'll give him back 100 mil. Friends who wasn't part of the plan. I had to put my game face on, cause now it's wartime. Have you heard my war cry? I've got lashes on my back from people that were once mine. But everybody walks the path of greatness. My journey full of failure, where it takes a man to make it back, to fall back on his feet, to make it right back. That's the kind of shit we done because the system I done. I never trapped in my life, but I've been trapped in my life. Stuck in the hood, the limit was the sky. That's what they do us by, but they never set the limits in our minds. Just trying to penetrate the system with a grind. You made a bit of money and you bought your first watch and chain. But where's the longevity? You try to make out of the maintain the money and the fame. Mistake a movement for energy. You choose to be a victim of the system. It's a choice. Don't blame the government. Some people ask for truth but struggle when it hits them. Black lives matter, but I'm screaming for the fun of it. All lives matter, and some white struggle in the gutter. And not every Asian ends up as a doctor. There's a price for everything. Influence is everything, so think about your choices. Don't just do it for your benefit. It's nice. Somebody to believe in me, so I had to give them something to believe in. And even when they try to doubt me, they still know it's me, cause I had to open doors about the keys. And we all hear voices when life gets noisy. We never died our choices. We all hear voices when life gets noisy. We never died our choices. All I wanted was somebody to believe in me, cause I had to give them something to believe in. And even when they try to doubt me, they still know it's me, so I had to open doors about the keys. And we all hear voices when life gets noisy. We never died our choices. We all hear voices when life gets noisy. Yeah, we never died our choices. And all I wanted was somebody to believe in me, so I had to give them something to believe in. And even when they try to doubt me, they still know it's me, cause I had to open doors about the keys. And we all hear voices when life gets noisy. We never died our choices. We all hear voices when life gets noisy. Yeah, we never died our choices.
Welcome back, everyone, to our talk. Over the break, we received a lot of questions from the general public, so we're about to take it up a notch. PTS said we need to make it more, give him some more challenging questions. So we're really gonna challenge him. I'm going to start with my dear sister Trendy.
We're going to actually start with our dear sister, Abs.
We're starting with me. So the first question is, how do we have fun? As in, how do Christians have fun? Holy fun.
Let's be direct. We're talking about Indonesian.
We're not
talking about the rest.
So, because fun is subjective. Some people like going to, let's say, football matches. Some people like going go-karting. Some people like going to day parties. What's the, how do Christians have fun? No,
Indonesian.
Indonesian.
That's the Christian one.
And then, and then there's holidays as well, because some people might see it as you're going on holiday to party. Some actually go on holidays to have fun, like jet skis, water parks, safari.
That's a good question, Priscilla.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
First of all, I'm looking at the people on set, and this looks like fun already. If you can you see the way these girls are dressed?
Yeah.
I'm seeing Dior everywhere. I'm saying, I saw outside Mercedes-Benz. I don't know. So what would be fun?
Louise, let's start with your...
what was your
idea
fun
of fun.
before the nation?
What was my fun before the nation and my fun still now? I would say that going on holidays is still quite fun to me, because I actually enjoy exploring other countries, other cultures, and I like water sports and I like the sun, and I don't think there's enough of that in the UK. So
enjoy today, because this is not going to change nothing for you, but it's a conversation.
It's a conversation. I think we're going to take this offline. But yeah, so that's fun for me, for example. So
Okay.
how do I find myself? How do I find this fun whilst being in the nation?
Okay, Trendy, what was and is your fun?
Tell the truth.
Concerts.
Oh, sorry, you missed the Bonner Boy one, right? Were you there?
No, I missed it, so.
If you've told me, I would have come with you guys for the sake of you guys. She was there. Oh.
Anyways, I'm on the panel. Not y'all. Concerts. I'm not really a clubbing person. I don't like clubbing and stuff like that. I would just say, I think kind of musical things. And I'm weird, innit? I don't really like being where people are.
Sarah's weirdly antisocial.
So
we can be in a restaurant and she's like, is it time to go home?
Yeah. So
And then she'll actually get up and leave us in the restaurant.
Yeah. I think my idea of fun is just, just concerts.
Creative stuff.
Yeah, creative, musical, that kind of backgroundy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, media
You know?
stuff.
My idea of fun would be the holidays, the exploring. So not just going on holidays to go to one location. I want to see the whole country, and we'll see the whole country in 2 days, from north to the south. So exploring, and then different activities. So we were saying before, go ape, rock climbing, all of those crazy stuff, like skydiving. That's fun.
That's fun.
Yeah,
I
we went on a yacht in Dubai, didn't we?
Yeah.
We went on a yacht.
Wow.
Wow.
Guess who used to like holidays and maybe still likes holiday to Pastor Dami.
Oh,
And Pastor Tony, you're always on.
No,
on
I
fun
remember when
I
I
think
first
Shepherd
started.
from the
Yeah,
Instagram.
you guys on Insta. I used to just be like,
Yeah.
wow.
Northern Lights, all of that.
Yeah, and it
See
was
the
cute
world.
because it was couples as well.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
there
that's-
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Christian couple goals.
Yeah. It's a Christian couple.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it is the fun aspect for me. It is not how, it's when.
But
Yeah.
you also don't want to be old on the beach, I don't Do you know what I mean? You want to still be young and cute when you have this fun.
But you don't want to be poor.
Yeah,
on
but
the
you also
beach.
don't want to be
A 40-year-old
yeah,
rock climber.
yeah.
It's just
When
not,
all
it's
the-
not
Trust me,
banging.
all the
believe
kids
me.
are running on the beach and you're just
No.
there.
Yeah.
Believe me, number one, you won't be hold. Number two, you will like it as hold because people actually live all their pension life to be able to travel the world. And they only do it at 60, 70. They contribute pension and do all that just so that, because I think there are certain things you will appreciate more at certain age if all you have to do is to
That is
Maureen
true.
said she's a holiday
Pastor-
freak too.
That is
Exploring
true,
the
Pastor
unusual.
Ziza.
It's good. It
I agree.
works.
That is true. Pastor
It
Sam
works.
does want to go WizKid. That
it
is true.
works.
Pastor Sam wants to go to the Wizkid.
It should. It probably should. I don't mind. I don't think I mind those things. It's not. And for me, it's always gonna be the issue of when. And by when, it's not gonna be old. It's just. I think young person's fun, and this will sound boring though, but young person's fun is what you can do with age. How many things you can become within a certain age. So I think when you're 50, I won't ask how many countries you've been to, and that's fine. It's just going to be like you said earlier, Louise, you're in finance, but from finance, you've gone to be a dentist. You played with your age, like you invested in becoming many things. For me, and again, I may be talking from a very boring person. If I've ever gone on holiday, I go to the place and I stay in the room all through. Like stay in the room, like you sleeping pill and sleep and say, you guys go out, I'm here. Like I just stay there. So I understand that that's extreme. That's not nice or whatever it is. I get it and I agree. But for me, I just want to see someone that understands the power of age, and they are able to become many things before they are 40 or before they are a certain age.
But,
That's
sir, in the current time, so like our age group,
Yeah.
what can we do to have fun that isn't too detrimental to? Because we are pastors at the end of the day. We do represent a family.
and you're having fun.
Yeah, but
Look
how
at
can
you.
Yeah, but
And when you leave this place today, you're gonna be you're the CEO of a company. That's fun though. That's like you're trying to build a company. You wanna go from making 10K a month to making $1 million. I think that's fun. That's
Yeah.
just so
Also fun. It's a type of fun.
Pastor Aziza said, yeah, but going on holiday at 60, can you go on the safari with a quad bike? I think
no,
not.
you can't.
I've said it. Number one, you're not going to be 60. With the way you guys are going,
but
it
even-
looks like you'll be rich quicker.
No, you're
That-
right.
That is true.
That is also true.
Oh no, that has to happen.
So I'm not stopping fun. I'm just saying, show me the money before fun. I'm sorry. I just don't like poor people's fun. That's my issue.
So, okay.
I mean, and poor people should have more fun because they have nothing to look forward to in the future. So they might as well. They
Okay.
might as well. But I just don't know.
So let's say by next year we all become millionaires, plus and stuff. It's okay for us to go.
We'll
So-
review it then. It depends on what millions mean to us then.
That's true.
Even so, like with this nation, like we don't hold millions. So then, would he still be classified as a millionaire just because it's passed through your hands?
It's not the
That's true.
it's not the holding.
Yeah.
It's the building.
Yeah.
Is what is done. So for me, I just think I've got a community, or I was growing up in a community that have done nothing but are everywhere. So the issue was never traveling or not. The issue was, do we have enough discipline to put our heads down and build something? So it's never going to be what you have, is why you're where. So I've always loved the idea that somebody is gone on a business trip to Nairobi, for example, and in the middle of that, they've got 3 days to just go to the park and do what. But they're making money there.
That's true, actually.
Something is
Okay,
happening.
that makes sense.
I just don't understand how you use your credit card and then come back to work again. And again, I also appreciate and respect the fact that that's the way the system works. And that's the way it's going to be. And it's fine for the general system. So I'm not trying to change the general system. I'm just trying to say that maybe there are some set of people who can be disciplined enough and have delayed fun.
Okay.
How long the delayed fund will be for is what I don't know. And it is not about how much they saved up or kept. It's just about what they were able to build. Because what you are able to build will carry you to nations eventually.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's better to be carried to the nations by what you're able to build. I feel like it's more fulfilling.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Fair
But
enough.
I also feel like the ones that we're talking about now, it's more exciting. I get it. And I respect it. And so if someone says, no, let your head down, don't take life too seriously, I get it. I understand it. And I understand that they are also saying that to justify where they are. It makes them feel like they've cleansed their conscience. But at the same time, I just don't think that, most times, I don't think there's a future in it. So it's that future that I'm worried about.
Quick question. So, say if I'm like a 3G second gen,
Yeah.
I'm about 19, 20, 18. I've
Yeah.
come into the nation. It's very intense. I'm building. I'm under leadership. I'm enjoying it. I'm learning. I'm growing. But then I do want to have that fun element. How can they do that? I know they're focusing and they're building on a path, but say if it's a thing where like they're like, oh, I want to go to a festival, I want to go to a concert, but then their leader's like, no, and it's like, I kind of like, I'm serving, I'm doing everything. So where's the balance, or where's the kind of boundary or the exception in those type of circumstances?
Luis, what do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah.
Oh no.
How do you do the balance? How do you...
I think that leaders know their people. So I think you
Good.
know. So, for example, you can know that maybe this person, we definitely can't send her anywhere past this house, because by the time she comes back, she would have, done
Go back
done
her
a
whole
badness.
father's
Yeah,
house.
exactly. She would have gone and done a
Undo everything.
badness. She would have called all her old friends and done a badness be on Shade Borough. Do you get what I mean? So I feel like leaders know their people. So there may be
Like we
certain...
saw Prince on someone's... so we're not asking Prince not to have fun, but it
No,
just
yeah,
ends up
it's
that
certain-
some
How?
bottles
Yeah.
are broken. Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah, so I feel so I think it comes down to leaders knowing their flock. And
Okay.
you,
And it's
you,
also
and
you
you will
being-
you will tell them what you
Sorry,
think they can do and
Pastor
what they can't
Daniel
do.
is throwing shade at me. I have to read this comment.
Let's see.
Having fun opening everywhere cosmetics in every major city of the world, and then go to any beach you
That
like
is a big mood.
in the city once it's
That was a
done.
shade.
So we've
Okay, it's not shade.
given you
That's a big move.
you have how to now travel the world if you want to, or
Thank
go
you,
to
sir.
concerts.
You've just given me a travel pass.
Also, to add to what Louise said, I think you also know yourself.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain places you physically can't or shouldn't go to.
Yeah,
So
true.
I know, like, for example, if I start going to my family events constantly, eventually you start seeing me there weekly and then daily, because it's something I enjoy. And sometimes when you're enjoying too much, you're like, okay, pause.
Yeah.
This isn't
Check
me
yourself.
now.
Yeah.
So I think, especially as a 3G, you've got leadership there for a reason. Like, you're not asking to hear what you want to hear. You're asking because you actually want the guidance. But you also know yourself that, okay, you had to work out, what's the benefit of me going here? If I go to a football match tomorrow, what's the benefit? Okay, I'll enjoy. Is it fine? Is it harmful for me? No. Is it going to change my perception of anything? No. But if I was to go to, let's say, a all-day festival, if I go there, am I going to come home? Am I going to start listening to the music again? Am I going to start linking up with those friends again? Am I going to start planning the next concert in another country? Probably. So, or next festival in another country? Probably. So it's you knowing yourself and knowing the benefit to certain activities.
Okay.
Yeah.
So based off what both of you
I
have
wanna
said, is like, speak with your leader, kind of gauge where you're at, and you're kind of saying,
No,
your
but you
limits
already
and
know
your
from your
boundaries.
leader it would be a no, though. Most leaders will just be like,
Not in
huh?
all cases,
We
though,
mean
sir.
like it.
Not in all cases,
Yeah?
surprisingly.
Okay.
You're
Yeah,
with me anyway. Leaders, you reason with them, and it's like what Abby would say. No, honestly, it's like
Open
Sarah
negotiations
reasons.
for
yeah,
sure.
it's like you would take their advice and listen to their what they have to say, but then it goes. I like what Pastor Abby said when she was like, you kind of know yourself as well. Is it going to affect something later down the line, or is it just something where you can actually do and just get back to what you're doing? So
Okay.
I think that's what I think personally.
Okay.
What was you going to say?
I want to hear what PTS said. No, I want to
Okay.
hear PTS.
I think for me, the balance would be questions like, I don't know, most of your frontline leaders now, I can't really remember what age I met them, but let me just give an example, like maybe just 2 or 3. My question would be, would you rather go on your fun holiday or live in or have a Pastor Honey's house to live in? if you had to choose one, which one would you choose? I guess is I want to have that house. I want to live there.
Definitely.
Okay. Or would you rather or live in Pastor Dami's house? Or would you rather live in a house like this? I want to go on holiday from this house. I'm back here.
True.
I don't want to go from wherever I was going from and
To
back
your mum's
there.
house, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to. So I think everything in life is about exchange. I don't think anything is for free. Even fun you would have to pay for somehow. So when we're having fun and it's sweet, I think, and I respect the fact that depending on who you are and what you're inclined towards is fun, is good, but it has a price. So if I like to watch series, movies, and I'm addicted to and I'm watching, my adult mind tells me, you do know you'll pay for this. I know I'll pay for it. I may not be able to tell how, but
Yeah.
it's too nice
Yeah.
that you
To be
know
free,
you're going to
yeah.
pay for this thing somehow, however. And so when the payment requirement comes, I have to know that, yeah, I'm paying for that sin, in quote.
Yeah,
But it was
yeah.
fun, and it's not destructive.
Yeah.
And be it the parents that want us to have fun or whichever one, what they just don't know is the cost. They say have fun, yeah, but there's a cost. That's why you're not grown enough. If you don't understand that everything that is sweet has cost, when you're eating cake and ice cream,
Yeah, it's
and then you run it down with a Coke, a big bottle of Coke and Fanta and whatever, it has a cost. Either you pay for it now or later, it's got a cost. When you go to gym, you're sweating, you're paying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're paying for that. So it will be immaturity and completely naive for me to know that. For me not to know that everything that I enjoy has a cost. So what I just decided to do with my early life is I will be so disciplined enough to pay certain prices that I don't have to pay now. Because that also has a reward. Just like the sweet stuff has a cost. So we're not proposing this lifestyle thinking that it's easy and automatically everybody should just be that. We're just saying that with what I know and then what we've seen, which are practical examples, it has rewards also. So the question would always be, you can have fun as you want. But would I rather a laddie, because laddie will be third gen, right? So I'm using him as example. Would I rather a laddie that is traveling the world and say, yeah, look at me, or a laddie that is always just building Pulse Academy and then sewing and going back to gather boys and they are going to Leicester for trial and it's just 20 or maybe up to that. Or a laddie that is traveling the world. It is more fun for him to travel the world. It's fun. Is going to be, I'm living the life, I'm young, but I think this has more reward. But I'm not also disrespecting the sacrifice that it comes with. Then the sacrifice then goes to the next stage with it, which is you can make all those sacrifices and store up money for yourself, and at your best chance, you'll be able to save up for a mortgage. You may not make it into a big agency. Or the sacrifice is then you're doing the giving of all, and then all you're doing is just seeing the community being built. And based on faith, that it will become strong and big enough to afford you the life that you should live at your later days. And your later days, depending on how many people are building at the time, the later days get shorter. My own later days can be 16 years after because it's just me.
Yeah.
Then yours get faster because it's many more people.
Yeah.
So those are the theories by which we think. So we want to go to concerts. We want to go to, it's just, okay, so let me say I'm going to be 41 now. I'm just saying those who have lived that life, and I'm saying their life now. And they are not necessarily failures, but they are just very small in the world. And then them seeing me, they admit that they are small. But we are the same age mate. but I also know how they live their life. And they were not necessarily hurting anybody. It's just they had their fun. And for me, I'm looking at them and saying, you've had your time, though. You've had your time, you've done your thing. And I'm not saying your thing is bad. It's just that I just decided to pay a different price.
But can the person do both, for example?
It's difficult. I don't know how I would have been working to build a nation family and traveling the world. It is not just what I do, because I can quickly travel and come back. It is not what I do. It's the fact that every other person around would do it as well. So it's not what I say.
Yeah. Okay.
Their spirit will just follow that too, naturally. So a P Sam, a P Oni, and every general that is supposed to build, they would just do so too. And it wouldn't mean, so I don't mind a Pastor Dami or Pastor Tolu traveling. I'm just saying, you'll just create a fellowship of sojourners. Everybody will just be sojourning. And then by the time you are saying, we're disciplined enough to make sure we come back on Sunday and preach, the other person is saying, oh, I'm just traveling on Sunday. And, and it's about...
We tried to plan it. We tried to go, okay, we're going to do Sunday after church, then we'll be
And
back
then by
before Wednesday for Thursday service.
We're just saying that it is not how, it's when, and you're not going to be part of the 1%, which everybody will not be, without having an extra life. You're extra. So either it's even your parent or anyone would just say you are being extra. You have to be in order not to be them.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that's what they didn't do. They were not extra. It's just what it is. But then we find them working at late 50s. And it's not just working, it's working without hope. Like, to what end is this work? What would happen? And then you still find out is they're still pursuing the holiday.
Yeah.
They just want a time when at the old age they can cross their leg and sit and watch TV in Africa.
Sounds like
And on most occasions it won't happen. It won't happen. So it's just what price is one willing to pay when. So I'm not suggesting that this is a compulsory, mandatory law. In fact, if I want to be clear, there's never been a travel ban in the nation family. It's just so that we're clear. And even more so now, in case you've thought that there is one, let me just be plain. You can go anywhere you want. Please, travel the world. See the 7 oceans and cross the 7 bridges of human civilization. You should do it. You know, if that's what you choose, you should live free when you're young. However, it's just that for us in leadership, we chose something. We chose it. I don't want to be in a place without purpose.
Yeah.
I don't want to... I chose a boring life for a purpose.
yeah.
And I'm angry enough that my life is boring enough. I'm angry enough to use that anger to create an unusual success. I'm angry enough. So I also understand that when you travel, you see the world, your mind is exposed, your mind is refreshed. I understand that. I get it. But I've also determined that my mind will be refreshed every morning.
Yeah.
I want to be the world. I don't want to see it. I want to be a world that the world wants to come and see. I don't want to see tourist centers. I want to be a tourist center that the world would like to inquire of and see. Now, that's a choice. Is there more fun at the other side of that choice? There is. You go places, you skydive and all that. It must be fun for some people. But I chose a path. And that path, the challenges on that path, the sacrifice on that path is fun for me. My hunger is enough fun.
Any other comments?
No, I think I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
We'll still talk, sir.
We'll still talk. But the nation, look, the nation is freer now. We'll meet online. Services every other 3 months. It's freer. I know that puts more demand on those who are frontiers. But guess what? Almost everyone that is 26 or 20-something, you're like frontier leaders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your sacrifice is on another level.
Yeah.
It has to just be. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is like who you are. And so you're not going to be the normal girl. But the thing is, when they meet you later, your distance will be so far apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you've literally just hit that nail on the head, because even like P Sam would be like to me, like, you're a soldier. And it's like what you just said, us that are 25, 26, 27 now, we're almost the next up. So we're
Yeah.
carrying the baton that will be passed on to us. So it's kind of like, guys, if we just focus now, you could be, like you said, in a house like this by the time you're 30, 29, 28. So let's just kind of get our heads down. So is that what you're basically saying?
100%. It's not just that you will be.
Yeah.
Because it's the natural progression of things.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you think you have or don't have. And it's a natural progression. This is not just by my words, it's by example.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's why I think we're more privileged, us being 26, 27, 25, because we've seen it. Like, if, let's say, I came in at Pastor Sam's stage, he would have looked around, or I would have looked around and be like, okay, yeah, we're talking about these mansions, but there's no example. For us, we see the examples. So it's literally right in our face that, okay, they done this,
And
A
they
plus
got
B
this.
equals C.
Yeah.
Simple. Like 1 plus 2. Like, simple. But if we never had that, I think might have been harder. So especially like the 3Gs, they see the first gens do it. They see the second gens nearly there and still pushing on. So I think it makes it easier, I guess.
Yeah, it makes it easier, it makes it faster, because whatever the first gen has done is almost by default. Now we know God's hand is behind it. God was planning it all the way. But it's by default, because I never thought of this. So default means that there is a natural law at work. The natural law is like physics. It's just like, if you do this, this will happen.
Yeah.
And we've come to discover it. So it wasn't planned out, but now you can plan it more out, because now you can write out the law. Following XYZ, focus for so number of years, create XYZ. So you're doing it intentionally, and then you've got more exposure. You've got more age. It gets better for you, because, like I said before, the way history and life, communities grow, the way history has shown us is it's a curve. The story is always the same. You get hated by almost everybody. No Jews, no dogs, no Irish. Then the curve comes back that everybody wants to associate with you. Now, the 25, 26-year-old now, they're going to be the generation of association with. Whereas the first gen, myself and the first gen, will be the generation of the 8. Oh, these guys are this, they are that, they are this, they are that. The first gen, by our leadership, is able to carry that through. Then you enter into the phase of association with. The third gen will reap it more, but then people are coming around now, from musicians to magician to prophet, coming around to say, let's just sit together and talk. Now, over the next 3 years, that gets better, is what it is, and opens doors for those who are in their 20s. So, but
It's like a ripple effect.
it's, yeah, definitely, yes. So I would look at the second gen as it is, as an association generation. People finally coming to accept an order that started from the first gen, finally coming to the realization of it. An example is when we started moving church around and doing the family or house style, right? For everybody, it was like, oh, what is this? They're just whatever. Then, and I'm talking from the church world now. Then COVID came. Then all of them comes around or coming around saying, oh, did you guys see this coming? It's like you guys were prepared and So I told one of your brothers who is not with us at the moment, but somewhere else, I said, now, in the 5 to 10 years, they will all clock this family style. But the problem is, you said this about the trap houses. that now you clock it. Oh, we wish we've done it. Now you're seeing families now, you still don't clock it.
Yeah.
You're still saying, yeah, now I get the trap house one, but the family thing, I'm not. But but I understand why they can't get it. They are not called to it.
Yeah.
So they can't see it. In years' time, people, so we're giving an example. People have surnames that is actually not their biological name. It's just they were member of a house for a long time. The house of Medici, they were part of that house, and that became their surname. So in years' time, many years' time, someone would just be called Solomon Shepherd. It's because that's his family. Those families, because everybody has nowhere to go. Everybody has to prosper together.
Yeah.
They will be rich. And they become the strong families. Now, who will be in their 30s at that age? You guys, of course, you'll be in your mid-30s. 10 years, you're just in mid-30s, and that's just fresh life. That's just like someone from 25 to 30 can decide to be anything. You can start education afresh and become a barrister at law, a professor at law by the time that's the beauty of age. That's the beauty of togetherness. So I said all that to say that there are prices to pay for everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes it will cost you relationship, it will cost you everything. So I don't think someone is serious about becoming a global leader and they are so attached to a marriage, a husband, a wife. I don't think so. I think from Lagarde, the woman who leads the IMF, to it's just like these women, you look at them, it's just like they have no life. They are not married. It's just like they've killed their husband along the way. Because there's a demand, there's a price to pay. So I think if I'm talking to a 10-year-old daughter, who is now growing up, I'm not saying you should not have fun like friends do. I'm just saying you've got to tell me truly how far you want to go. And once you tell me that, my job from experience and exposure is to tell you the cost of it.
Okay.
Then you've got to now tell me, I want to pay the price or not. If you want to be a fun person, I'll tell you the cost. Then you make a choice.
Wow.
And I think I was saying that to one of your sisters yesterday. Unfortunately, African parents don't have conversation with their kids. It's heartbreaking. You're still challenging your kid who has finished uni and it's now 24, 23, 20 about what church she goes to. What you can't have a proper conversation. What kind of fathers are these? What generation produced this kind of men? It's concerning. Whereas my own 15-year-old daughter, I want to have a conversation that just enlightens you about the choices you make. And I may not agree with your choice, but trust me, I'll be there. I'm going to be there with you. I'm not going to discard you as an unintelligent dullard who doesn't know what she's doing. And then your daughter imagine an African parent is taking our daughter away. How old is your daughter? 31. You're psychologically broken. 31-year-old woman, like full woman, is still our daughter. And you can't sit down with that girl and have a matured, what grown men do. Grown men have conversation with their girl child, like grown men, not like weasels, not like children. We love you, we just don't like where you go to. She's 20-something.
Yeah.
Find out.
How can you not sit her down and have a matured conversation? Be enlightened about our choice. So for me, I think that's what we're doing today, having a conversation with 26-year-old girls and just saying, look, it is not, for me at this stage and age and exposure, it is not this is what you have to do to please God. It's the question of who do you want to be? And then if you tell me, either by words or by action, then I'll tell you, I think this is the price to pay. Would you be able to make a choice to pay that price, or would you back down? And in case you decide to back down, you want to travel the world, you want to have fun, you want to get married, hey, just know that you'll always have me at that level. And there will be not more demand than what you want to be on you from your leaders, it's just going to be will understand you for who you choose to be. That's the second gen. Then third gen, their leaders may have to insist a bit more. Because at that stage, you're just always going to make wrong decision.
Yeah.
You're just going to wake up and say, I want to be this because friends have been there.
Yeah.
So I think what happened to some of your sisters that came when they were third gen, maybe a bookie or so, was they met me. And imagine how young I was then as well. But for me, it's always just been, I'm sure Pastor Bookie will tell you, I've never ever said, I insist this is what to do. Never done it. Never. That's why she will love me more than biological parent, because biological parent at that age want to even beat you. Sit down. Sit down. Come here. And then when that's not working, say, if I'm your father. What are you? You can't, you're not trained enough to have conversation like an intelligent man. You can't hold a conversation. Hold conversation. And we make ourselves clear, like, this is what I think. If you decide differently, you still have my support on certain level. But I don't want you not to have conversation.
Yeah.
I want you to
think
be able to have conversation.
I think that's so key, what you're saying, is the conversation thing. And I feel like with females in particular, we're good at hiding and going around, but to even speak to a leader, a male leader, and open up about certain things, I think it would save us a lot.
I think it comes from not being able to do it at home.
Yeah.
Like having these leaders or whatever, our parents, but us never having free conversations where you could actually say how you feel or question things. Because my mum doesn't actually ask about anything in regards to my life at all. And I've realised that as I've grown older, I'm like, she doesn't actually ask about how's work is the most I'll get. But she doesn't know, I promise you, she doesn't know where I work or what I do. I don't think she'll actually know these things because her main concern is marriage as it is.
Yeah.
So if she can find a way to twist the conversation, that's all we talk about.
Yeah.
I'm amazed at that generation, but again, not amazed because you can't give what you didn't have, what nobody gave them as well. And I do appreciate that there, because sometimes when I speak about the parenting stuff, it looks like I'm throwing a blanket on everybody. I know there are exceptional cases. I'm not, I didn't drop from the sky. So I know there are exceptional cases, but I'm just saying majority of cases, we just didn't have parent leaders. And you're right. Because of that, it will be difficult to speak to a leader, either from fear of being judged or from fear of being vulnerable as well, because the leader also is human, and they can fall, especially if it has to do with women. A lot of things happen in life. However, I would still love the trust of conversations. Conversations are powerful. They don't have to be long. They just have to be that finally in life one has found someone that they can actually say everything to.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Without being judged. And then the person also will not appear as if they have answers to everything.
Yeah.
And they will not appear as if they are so perfect that your failures will make them feel somehow about it. So, and those things foster healthy conversation. I've got some of your sisters, it's like there are no bounds to what we can speak about, because they know that for PT, there's nothing you're going to tell him that's going to be like, oh, I'm just going to look at you. If you said I'm sorry for what I'm about to say, oh, I was with 10 boys yesterday. For me, I'm going to be like, wow, that's a lot. But because what I'm looking for is why, what's going on. It's not the action. It is what's up. And that's the worst, right? Like, I think 10 boys in a day would be an extreme case. Hopefully that happens to no one. But I'm just saying that in extreme cases like that, you're not talking to a person that will feel like, oh, what kind of a person is this? You're just talking to someone that will feel, what's going on? Is there something you want to tell me? And then you're also speaking to someone that will not feel, well, that will change tomorrow. I'm just thinking, okay, we can walk through this and we can get somewhere. What's up? As long as there can be that talk. So I told your sister last week that for me, before we can grow to that, what you're asking me to be to you is relationship, right? Before we can grow to that stage, it's not me, it's you. You have to be able to trust me.
Wow.
And then you have to understand that I don't trust you. And why do I not trust you? Because I've had a lot of experience, and it's safe for you, for me not to trust you. So when you're talking, I'm reading you. I'm thinking, what's she trying to say actually? So that I can say, hey, listen, calm down. He's his PT. And the same thing your leaders are growing to become too. Like, this is PT. You're not going to impress me or disappoint me. I already love you. So forget about trusting you. I love you already. So don't worry about trust. Let me grow into that at my pace. Yeah. Let me see you for who you are. But believe that I love. So you're not going to disappoint me. And you're not going to impress me with your holiness. It's just that I know that if we cannot have certain kind of conversation, you will not know the price to pay for certain things. And you will make mistakes, because I already know that there are pressures. Moms are specialists, not in building a daughter's financial life or future. They are specialists in demand for marriage.
Yep.
But they don't marry themselves.
Yeah, and some of them are not married themselves, because they want to use you to fulfill. And it's all good. Whatever that is, it's all fine. They have the right to. They definitely have the right to. But you also have the right to choose what price you want to pay in life and how far you want to go. So I want a nation, the nation family, I want it to be a place where we can have diversities of people who are not afraid to express who they are, but who are also not too weak to be challenged to be a better version of themselves.
Yeah.
So if you say, well, I'm just inclined towards getting married and all that, if your leader feels, you know you can do better though. I need people who are not afraid to want to step up. But I also want people to be free enough so that you don't become a sect. To be free enough to be what they need to be. But for me, that is after I've seen 100 women who need to be what I need them to be. After 100, I'm fine with others to say, okay, I just want to marry at 22. Yeah, I'm like, that's fine. I already have the 100 that I need. Because I will need those 100 for my selfish reasons of nation leading. For them leading nation in the future, which is very selfish of me, I'm sure. But, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Pastor Toby. And thank you so much to my panelists. This is the end of our talk. Next week is going to be the guys, so it's going to be very interesting.
Very
Send your
interesting.
questions now
Yeah.
to Pastor Lloydie. She's taking all questions about the guys from the guys. So, yeah, join us here next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.